I'm Leah and welcome to Steadfast. I have in the yard this big hedge, and it's called a Suriname cherry, and it's so beautiful and so tall. It's very mature. I believe it was planted by the original owners of the house, but it's just an amazing hedge, thick, and even in the winter it stays pretty thick. There's only a few kind of thin spots, but it's nice and tall and it's just beautiful. It produces these red, well, cherries. The Suriname cherries, they're not really good to eat. I think I've showed them in another video at one point. But anyway, this hedge behind me is just wonderful, and maybe 40 years old or so, or 30 years old, something like that. So it's definitely really thick trunks and well established and seemingly very healthy. But anyway, I want to take a look at it today for another reason, so here we go. So if you look here, here's the Suriname cherry right here. This is its leaves. And then you'll notice this is a different kind of thing happening right here. These. And I believe these are called Virginia creeper. So they're all over the Suriname cherry right here. Another one right here. So it's a vining bush, and I mean, this thing goes, this is like as tall as I can reach, so it's probably another 2 feet above my head as far as the height of the hedge right now. Sometimes my husband Wes will give it a big trim, and it'll be about his head height. So and then I also want to show you over here. So the vine, I can't find any spots that I can reach the vine. I think I'm gonna have to get like a little ladder or step stool the next time I come out here to do this. But I'm gonna zoom in so you can see that right there, those leaves that are kind of like, this is some more of it. That is a vining bush as well. And I don't know if I can get in close enough. Those are seed pods of it. And when they pop open, they're like these red and black hard seeds. I think they are toxic to animals, something like that I read. Eventually one day this will be my compost pile, but not with weeds, not with weed seeds. Oh yeah, here's some of those black and red seeds from that have opened up. Those are those seeds, and they're hard and they're very small. Here's the actual pods of those seeds, and when it's ripened or whatever, it'll pop open and those red seeds are in it. So that is another vine that has been creeping into this beautiful, look at that hedge, isn't it gorgeous? Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. Look, it's just so beautiful and thick and tall. I love it. Now the cool thing about it is we don't often have to do this because my husband will come through periodically and trim the hedges, and that pretty much will take out all the top layer of vine if there are any. But I just saw them growing and I was like, I wonder how extensive these vines are. Oh goodness. One other thing I wanted to show you too here. This is, I think it's called the coffee plant, Florida coffee plant or something like that. But I want to grow this not in the hedge. I don't know why it continues to grow in the hedge. It's here, and it's also on the other side of the little porch or patio over there. It's on the side of that as well. I really want to get out as much of this. Oh, here we go. I got a good fork right here. See that fork? I can grab that. See if I can get a good bunch of it out. Yeah. So I'll have to come out here later, because right now I'm holding the camera with one hand, and so I'm only pulling the vines with one hand, and that would take me a long time, right? And I'll get more strength if I have two hands too. So I wanted to read from James 1:14 and 15. It says, but each person is tempted. So it's not just saying when you're tempted or if you're tempted, but it's saying every person is. So, but each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. And then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, when fully grown, brings forth death. So if you think about the vines, and they're kind of like that, you know, it might start little, it might start just like an underlying desire, and then it tempts us and it lures us in, and we say, yeah, just a little, like just a little part of the vine, just a little shoot here or there, no big deal. This hedge is huge, right? Nothing can take it out. But if we let that vine go, it would eventually engulf the hedge and smother it so it wouldn't have any life left, as big as it is. Just like the same as us. If we have desires that we know are not godly, we need to deal with them at that point, at the point of desire. And that way it won't ever sprout, it won't ever lead to the vine growing and then becoming something so big that it leads to death. Here's another verse, Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. And in the Hebrew, it says something like, above all guarding, guard your heart. And so it's called an idiom because it's got the guarding and the guarding. But that is meaning, if you're going to guard anything, guard your heart. And then the other thing that it means is when it says, for from it is the source of life. It's talking about that being the fountainhead, or the beginning, the starting point of what pours forth from you as life. Your life, your very life, comes from what's in your heart. So if we guard our heart and we make sure to be faithful to fill it with the Word of God, and to yield our desires, to yield to Him, we're going to be constantly pouring forth not only life, but His life, the spiritual life. And that's what is going to be like the springs of water flowing out of us, that is spirit, and gives life to others around us. So I hope that is an encouragement to you and a reminder to be vigilant with this. We don't want to be lax. We don't want to be sluggish in our faith. Wes and I, my husband, have been reading about the parable of the 10 virgins, and we learned that, you know, all 10 of them did fall asleep initially, but then when they were awakened, and it's like, oh, you know what? Some of them had oil and some of them didn't. And so again, it's vigilance. We need to be vigilant and not let things creep in, and get it at the source. Start early, get it before it becomes anything. And you know the verse about asking the Lord to search our hearts. He's better at it than we are, so we can trust Him with that too. But I hope that's encouraging and a good reminder to remain steadfast in all the things that the Lord is asking us to do. Have a wonderful day.